Hey guys, and welcome to the semifinals of this BT12 tournament. We got Beelzemon versus Imperialdramon, and I do have a little disclaimer here. So I lost some footage, don't know how. This was actually the second match. The first match, Beelzemon did take it, and I was going to re-record and just kind of add on to it, but yeah, so here we are. Second match, it's actually 1-0 at this point. Imperialdramon does take it, and now he is hatching here into BT3 and now going into BT12 Vmon. And still the memory at 2. That Wizardmon X antibody is pretty good, especially when digivolving. You can either trash her if you have the Wizardmon underneath, it then becomes a blocker, which for this Beelzemon deck, you kind of rather want the trashing as opposed to the blocker here. Wormmon is played and is able to get 1 out of the 2 hits. The Wormmon, the new Vmon, will allow you to get 1 Digimon card with free in its trait and 1 Davis if you're playing Vmon, or 1 Ken if you're playing Wormmon. And now Beelzemon takes it off at 3 memory, moving up this Wizardmon X antibody. And going for the check, Pagumon does trash one when attacking, and we got a Beelzemon Blast Mode popping a level 4 or lower when it's trashed from the deck, and of course it hits that Wormmon. Swing into security, hits a Stigmon with 4000 DP. Wizardmon X antibody does survive, and now Wizardmon gets played for 4, leaving Imperialdramon at 2 memory to start off with. And Imperialdramon does have that jamming EX Vmon and does move it up to the battle area. Plays a Hammer Spark, goes to 3. This is interesting. And now plays a Stigmon for 3. Usually you attack and then you can DNA, but here it looks like we're just straight DNAing instead. Going into Imperialdramon. And that's kind of a free swing that Imperialdramon missed here, because again, XVmon, you really don't have to worry about the security, of course, besides option cards. And I think Imperialdramon's playing it a little safe here. So instead, did do the DNA, send back a Digimon to the bottom of the deck, swinged into the X antibody, and now swinging for 6. Oh, Deathslinger, actually. I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 cards in the trash, so Imperialdramon did get lucky there. Deathslinger pops a level 4 or lower, and then for every 10 cards in your trash, you add 1, I was about to say 1 memory, 1 level. So Imperialdramon did get really lucky right there. Beelzemon does now play Rivals Barrage for 7, popping that Imperialdramon. Wow. The downside of that Imperialdramon is it does not have any protection. And just like that, now it's gone, and now the Imperialdramon does have to start from scratch. However, Imperialdramon is at 4 memory, hatching a Demi Vmon, does have the new BT12 Davis down in the battle area, and digivolving into the EX2 Labramon, which goes fantastic with the EX2 Vmon, as you guys have seen in the previous matches. Plays a Vmon, and there we go. We do have 2 hits right there. Misplay by Imperialdramon. Could have taken another Vmon and or Wormmon, since they do have free trait in its traits. Free trait in its traits. And we do play another Vmon here, and now here he does remember to take 2. Takes the Davis and takes a Stigmon. So that could have hindered, especially if you need to search more and or if you don't have any rookies in your hand. Now it's Beelzemon's turn at 2 memory. Impmon does go up to the battle area, swing, trashing 1 from that Pagumon, and trashes a Beelzemon. Beelzemon, when it gets trashed from deck, you can play an Impmon, and there we go. We got that security. Impmon, unfortunately, does not have an on-play effect. And this build is a post-ban list from that EX2 Impmon, where we only want run in the deck list. If you guys want to actually want me to do a deck profile of that one, please let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, it doesn't really change much. Just a few X antibody cards and the Impmons, of course, and that's all. Imperialdramon is now at 3-4 with that Davis, since you do have a Digimon with free in its trait. And now we play Davis, BT3, which is a memory set tamer and allows you to get 1 blue card and 1 green card. And there we go. Takes an EX2 Vmon and the Imperialdramon Dragon mode from the starter deck with 3 bodies on board still. Digivolves into Stigmon for 2, the new BT12 one. these cards are pretty cool. The new Stigmon and the EX2 Vmon. Because when you do DNA, they give you 1 memory for DNAing, and DNAing is already free. So now you're just getting memory for DNAing. Swinging that Impmon and checks another Davis from BT12. So now Imperialdramon will jump up to 5 memory so long as there's a Digimon with free in its traits. And/or Ken, which in the other video, Imperialdramon actually forgot and didn't gain the memory from having Davis and Ken on field, but nonetheless, here we go counting. And as I stated before, when Beelzemon is playing and the trash goes sideways, that means he has 10 in the trash. So as of right now, they have 11 cards in trash. And Digivolving into Beelzemon, trashing 2 from the deck. And now Beelzemon's plays another Impmon, and there is the on deletion Impmon, which I think is probably the best Impmon now because it is not limited. On deletion, you just trash 3. It's pretty nuts. And now Beelzemon does pop that Stingmon from his on or Digivolution effect, where if you have 10 cards, you can pop a level 3 or lower, and then you can add 1 level for every 10 in your trash. Now, Imperialdramon is at 5 memory. Digivolving into that Labramon does have a Labramon and a Vmon up. Digivolving into the EX1 Vmon, X Vmon jamming. Now we're swinging, drawing, and gaining that memory from Labramon, putting him back up at 4. Basically a 1 evo for that EX Vmon, and because of jamming, we do survive. Going to that Stingmon for 2. Draw, and now are we going to see, here it comes, DNAing yet once again back into Imperialdramon. I think this is a BT starter deck 9-1. Now, when Digivolving the DNA, since you did DNA, send a 6000 DP or less back to the bottom of the deck, and that is probably a good choice because you don't want Imperialdramon. You don't want Beelzemon's trash to really build up faster than you can take them down. That's kind of the key going against Beelzemon here. And do swing here, drawing, and then since it is now considered a new Digimon, Labramon's in here pops off again, and only to get deleted by 7 full cluster. Oh man, that's Imperialdramon cannot catch a break here. That's nuts. And just like that, board is cleared. So again, like I was saying, Imperialdramon has a does not have any protection. That is what makes him not so strong anymore. Play a Wormmon here, and now you do have choice to get 1, get that Stingmon to the hand, rest go back to the bottom of the deck. Still at 1 memory, and playing a Mega Death, putting Beelzemon back to the hand. Okay, see there, that's good. And because if that Beelzemon would have stayed on the field when he attacked, he can play his effect, would have popped that Wormmon, trash 2 cards more, and just keep building trash. Digivolving to Impmon X Antibody, drawing, and now going into that promo Wizardmon for 2. Beelzemon is at 2 memory, does have that Impmon there. Swing, Impmon's effect, trashing 2, and another Impmon. And now here, we're just trying to build up to 20 in the trash, which we do not have 20 yet. And hit some Mega Death. Oh, hit that Impmon, and I think that is a really good choice because the trash is fairly close to 20. And that Impmon, when you do attack, you can basically warp into a Beelzemon from your trash. And things get nasty when that happens. Now, ending turn by playing that on deletion Impmon. Now, Imperialdramon Digivolves into X Vmon here for 2, going to 3. Swings, draw, and a memory. Now, does he have a 3rd Imperialdramon in hand? Checks a Impmon for 1000. That's going to be the question here, because he would have ran through 3 already. Drops a Stingmon. You do have a blue Digimon in play, so now it is reduced by 1, costing 4. And here we go. He actually does have the 3rd Imperialdramon. DNAing here. And now this was smart, because now if that Imperialdramon gets popped, you still at least got a Wormmon. You're taking that Impmon back, and as you can see there, Beelzemon now has 20 cards in the trash. So that Impmon from the starter deck can warp. Here we go. Draws. See here, he could have went for the security, unsuspend, and then went for game. But I think he kind of learned his lesson here and decided to clear board first. And now if we swing, at least if you die, it really depends what it is. And it's an Impmon, and Wormmon will take it for Imperialdramon. Pretty good matchup. Moving on, again, this is now match 3, not match 2, because I'm dumb and I couldn't, I don't know, I probably didn't press record or something. Anyway, Beelzemon does take it off here now, hatching into that Pagumon. This is the tiebreaker. They're at 1-1. Whoever the winner is of this one is going to head on to the championship of this little BT12 tournament. And this is pretty exciting. Imperialdramon has been actually holding up fairly well. Of course, minus a few misplays, but it just goes to show that Imperialdramon can still be a really reliable deck, so to say. Of course, depending on the deck that you go against. Does play Iron Mako passing turn to Imperialdramon now. Imperialdramon does take it for 3 memory, drawing for turn. We're going to see the hatch into that Demi-Vmon, Digivolving into Labramon for EX2, and dropping that Wormmon right off the bat as 0, revealing 3 cards. And now we cannot take the Davis, but we can take a Wormmon and or a Vmon. Vmon does get picked up. The rest do go back to the bottom. And now if he bricks, okay, there it is. Now we're dropping that Vmon that Imperialdramon picked up, revealing another 3, and now look at that, you could get a Davis, and Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is the only hit there. Labramon does go back to the bottom, and just like that, now we got potentially 3 bodies next turn. And now Beelzemon kicks it off with 3 memory, moves up that Impmon, and Digivolves into Impmon X Antibody. So does not trash an option card, but will use Iron Mako's effect when Digivolving. Place 1 card on top of your deck and gain a memory, now putting him at 4 memory. Swinging, trashing 1 by Pagumon, which is the card that was just put there. Pops a Wormmon, which is pretty good there, because let's just say a Mega Death was in hand. Now they need a green card in order to play it. So by popping that Wormmon, now you're getting rid of the blue and green requirement, and you just have blue. Plays an Impmon promo for 3, up at 1, and Digivolves into Wizardmon for 2. Memory choking Imperialdramon at 1. Imperialdramon takes it off. Just plays a Davis, decides to keep Labramon back there. Oh, there goes 1 Mega Death. And there goes your 2 bodies, a Wormmon and the new Dragon Mode from BT12. Beelzemon takes it off at 3. Draw, unsuspend. Already counting security. Security trash. Unsuspend Iron Mako. Hatch a Pagumon. Digivolve into that BT2 Impmon. Yep, the setup is coming for this deletion. And Digivolves for 3 into Balmon. BT10. I actually really like this Balmon because as long as you attack, you can trash 3 cards. It's not once per turn. I don't think there's really any way to unsuspend yourself. But it's not just once with the new Balmon where it Digivolves and trash 3 only. So that's a good card to have. However, the DP is only 7,000. There we're opting to not use Wizardmon's effect to place a card on top. Look at that. Revealing a Wizardmon, Impmon, and a Wizardmon and 2 Beelzemons, one being the EX2 one. Now we get to play an Impmon since one was trashed, and here we go, the security Impmon. And do not have 10 yet. So if this Balmon gets popped, which it just did, it will count those 3 sources as trash. However, I don't think he has a Beelzemon in trash. No, he doesn't even. He has 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Only 9 cards in trash. By 1 missed it. If that Impmon wouldn't have been played, then it would have been 10, putting a Beelzemon up in the board. Does play a Deathslinger to pop that Vmon, and now we should have 10 in the trash, although it doesn't matter. And now here we go. Imperialdramon does take it off at 3 memory with that Davis in the back, and moving up Labramon. Going into that EX2 Vmon, Hyperspeed Digivolution, you didn't even see the card move. Go to 1, Digivolve and gain a memory, swing and oh Jesus. It's another Death Slinger. And now just like that, EX2 XVmon is gone. Imperialdramon uses a Hammer Spark, goes to 3 memory, and that has to be a mood kill right there. Where your EX2 Vmon just gets popped from security, having jamming. Vmon's effect will get that Stingmon to the hand, still at 0, and now just dropping a Stingmon for 3, preparing to DNA next turn. Does Beelzemon have a answer to that? Moving up, this Impmon will swing Trash One from the Pagumon, which is another BT2 Impmon, and if this Impmon gets popped, it does get popped. Now we're trashing 3 more, and just like that, you got 1, 2, 3, 6 cards from his effect to that. Oh Jesus, EX2 Rivals Barrage, nice. Look at that. And now that EX2, the reason that one got hit is because now he can mill 3 more. Look at that. Oh, EX2 Beelzemon. Now you can play another Impmon. If you really needed, if you really wanted to, could have played that EX2 Impmon now. Has an on play, reveal some cards, get a Beelzemon or Iron Mako. In this case, he's still trying to build up trash, so he does get that BT2 Impmon back. Swings, hits a Stingmon, and it does get popped. And just building the trash. Hard playing a starter deck 14 Impmon for 3 and playing another one. Wow, we're going whiteboard here. Anticipating the deletion of the BT2 Impmon, placing another 3 in the trash. We'll have 20, and now both of those Impmons, if you have enough memory, could warp into Beelzemon so long as you meet the requirements. And now here we go. We do see Imperialdramon coming out, gaining a memory with that EX2 Vmon for DNAing. And now you can DNA, put a Digimon with 6000 DP back to the bottom of your deck. And we choose that BT2 Impmon. And now just 2 bodies. Here we go. With that memory, putting him back at 2. Can swing twice here. There's the first swing. Draw from that Stingmon. Downside is there's no way of really hitting both of those Impmons. One of them is going to stay there. Drops a Mega Death, puts him at 3. Gets rid of at least 1, which I think is fairly good. But now he can just Digivolve into that Impmon in the back and just bring it out when the time is right. Imperialdramon will have to really win on this next turn. If not, that Impmon back there is just gonna, that's it. Especially if there's a blast mode in trash. Swing with that starter deck. Here we go. Is gonna opt to warp. I guess the first swing didn't count, so he swung again. And going into, thinking about it. Literally he's looking at the starter deck Beelzemon. However, if you have enough cards in the trash, you can go into the EX2 Beelzemon and it would pop that Imperialdramon. Oh, there we go. Does go into it for 3, go to 0. Is when Digivolving, he will trash 2 cards. Digivolving, okay, playing Iron Mako, placing a card underneath, gaining 1 memory back. And now trashing the 2 for Digivolving. Impmon and X Antibody, and here Beelzemon is over 20 cards, popping that Imperialdramon again. Imperialdramon just, yeah. You just cannot get a break here with this Beelzemon. Beelzemon just has too much removal. Oh, here he does get popped. But at this point, it just seems a little too late to make a comeback. There's nothing, unless, yeah, like that's now another body. Unless, no, even with 1 blocker, you would need to, you have 3 security. There's just no way. There's no way. Even if you end up playing a blocker, you can only block 1. Mind you, that starter deck Impmon would just go into Beelzemon and pop it anyway. There we go. That's game. Beelzemon is going to the championship. Let's go. What a crazy match, guys. That was pretty wild. I'll see you guys on the next video, Impmon for game.